Ele manatu le au le atatou tala mea fasolo. E tu sai foi male proclame ia au le maula va Samoa e a tatu tele amatalia se proclame mu mola bona tatu la langi sungalu mama moli patanga ile tua. O le mele ia te au le avotele ma le minga o te tawai te wala au tuai le tofine ia precious yoka ia anga e mai ngoi se momoli la au i fonga ona matalia le proclame.
Mata tamalangi mata whaftai ro fio no mata lia melini te au folo o tumo pero lo whamangone te mata o whana tuma mata whaftai foi mo le ola man mara si foi me te mata o whana mata whaftai foi lopu pinga me se foi lota singa i mata o whana e me se foi whamunyanga o mata moa Yala le tupe la lawa mo so se tuna me o mo e fenu te mata o whana tuma mata whaftai foi ono tungiolo alo pero Yesu Kirisu o ia sa ia malim whalawa au i mua sa tau no mata o sara tama ia lo whawhamania mata taita ia mo mata whatasiri tula taia me se foi mata o whana tuma ia lo whawhamania foi le sunga tō wanga me se foi le tuna tō wana mata le whatasiri tula taia tuma ia lo wha pui te mata o whana tuma le nei tula taia mata whatasiri nei le ni fale ia e pelonga nga fatasi me te mato fana tuma ia mo pe mato le fia me se foi fefe me fatasi ni nga tele ia mo mato singa nga ni tula tayo ia lo futama se te mia mato ta pe tu moto ainga ia pelonga pui malawe ai me tolo fana tuma ia mato talo le na ni tula tayo tu sai me moto lo fa tele tuma ia software based case amen.
Ai o te lei tau tala e tusa ma le au tū o le asu. E mua o na ufatu lou i le pa ia o sa sao i le mai. E a fua el te maa o le atunu. Le fionga ko wana sili ia le manu peleti pa le poisi a le ngā mau. E ui lava na tātou le whaatasi ma ko wana. Ai wha maa loa atu lana tapu o inga le ni taia. O mamalu fo i ma pa ia lana kapeneta. O te whaatu lou watu. E tai nale le lo le whainga malo. O le au le toi tā la i utu mā au, pe tā foi i whala manga isi. Ai o le a whanga tonu le malama, e tusa ma le nei aso malona mafua ang. Pei ona manino le fuafuanga le ne ofisa mana poloketi fuafuaina. E iailu mātou tali tonu. O se Tasmania lea o le te lelo na sao mo tupulanga whaia e tutuila ma manu. Pe a whai o le anga lulue ma tau la mua ulu mtai tai o le malo. O na tātou olo pito vaa lea i sā mātou tamu whainga. O nei ma whauwhaunga nā e ao ai o na saa mai ai ni o tau whina ngalu. Ai, ua lava ia le nei tala. Ai o le a wha ngā solo o tātou poro kalame le nei tai au. Teimi nei, e ia te au le avateli. E tu watu le avanoa le tō whina i a tiun tali waa. Mo sana saunonga i le mafuanga, po le winga foi i le nei aso wa tātou whaatasi mai ai.
Greetings and talofu. Today, DYWA has conducted a forum that is dedicated to issues occurring on island that we, the youth, believe needs to be widely discussed and assessed. The theme this year, Preparations for Tomorrow, starts today. Le amatanga motael e amatane is self-explanatory and speaks great volume. This forum will serve as one of the many steps our youth or our generation will take to construct a strong foundation for the future of American Samoa, for the future of us. Therefore, making use of this opportunity, our SYEP participants will fully take over this responsibility of leading and facilitating this event to showcase you the beginning of change. We are the change. As our groups are preparing their presentations, I welcome you all once again. May we leave today with the desire and image of a better future for American Samoa in mind. Thank you and God bless.
Ia, le manatu nawa mai atu le nisio vaenga o le tātou prokalame. Ia atou sisila atu le prokalame mole mole. Ia le nawa o le whasolonga i le saunoanga whapitoa. Ia e lana fionga fo i ko mansili, e petai. Ia o wha wale maa au mai lana fionga. Ia e le tato nunga o lo mori tele mai o nā ro whaanga. Ia o le mere, ia te au le aputele. Ia e wala o tuai le whatonu ia tēnanga ia o ia lea o lo whai masui. Ia wā pusi sau nuanga whapitoa. Ia e anga tunuai le ne yasu whapitai.
Good morning. And I didn't know this morning I'm going to be standing in front of all of you to deliver a few words. So this comes as a surprise. But I think it's a good surprise. Because what can be more important than talking to young people and getting them to consider the issues that are important to them. Leo o vai atu le polokalama, usalo wa tofusia le polokalama. The issues are gender equality, suicide. Take a look. What are the other issues on the program? Let's read them together from the top. What's the first one? And the next one? I don't hear all of you. And the next one? And the next one? And the last one? And is there another one? What's the last one? So I just want to start by, I'm wondering who I'm talking to. Are some of you still in high school? Yes, no? How many of you have already graduated from high school? Give yourselves a hand. Lono inga, o utou ila matanga. You are starting your journey as an adult. And as an adult, in 2022, you are faced with many uncertainties. You live in a world of uncertainty. Masalo e to tele nisi o tō. Tele lava facilita ua lo e manatu iai. What will be my next step in life? What will be your next step in life? Do I go to school? Do I find a job? Do I go off island? How do I help my parents? How do I help my younger brothers and sisters? But if you look at those issues, and I was talking to the other guests, said, you know, in a way, a lot of these issues are about gaining control of your life. There's a word that they use, it's called agency. How do you gain agency in your life? And, you know, a lot of you are very young. And about 2 years ago, I was asked if I could meet my 18-year-old self, what would be my advice to my 18-year-old self? Ana mawhai ona o toe paupau tua. Ia te aulawa ia il taimi na sifu valu e o tausanga. O le ase fautuanga o te whaia. And so my advice to you, what I would tell my 18-year-old self is this. It's gonna be okay. You're going to be all right. You have to give yourself a chance. You are so young. You have so much ahead of you. You have a long road, and if you can take the first step, if you can take the second step, you're going to be okay. Do you believe my advice? Do you believe this? Raise your hands if you believe you're going to be okay. Raise it high. Give yourselves another applause. I wish I knew that when I was 18. Ele moti no loto po le a saunga le mu mamanuia o ranga. So I'm glad to hear that all of you think, no, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. So today you're going to listen to a lot of other wise people, teachers, counselors. We have some representatives from the Fono, a reverend, and other people I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet. They're going to talk to you. But I think all of you are in a good place right now. The important thing is, you know, there are many important things, but one of the important things is to trust. It's hard to trust when you feel that you've been betrayed. If you feel like people haven't been telling you the truth, then you will have a sense of betrayal. And so it's hard to trust in the generation that came before you. Be open to the discussions that you will have today. And when the time comes, you're going to have to step up. Each and every one of you are going to have to step up. What do I mean by stepping up? You're going to have to make a decision. What direction do I want my life to go? Do I want it to go this way? Do I want it to go this way? That has to be your decision. That's what we call agency. Having control of your life. It won't happen tomorrow. It might not happen next week. It will take time because all good things take time. So I want to thank our MC. Let's go for Kakokaya. He's good. Oh, okay. Let's clap one more time. Have a good day.
As of now, we are going to introduce our keynote speaker this morning. She is a graduate from Tafuna High School, class of 2020. She is a closed salutatorian, STA president of class of 2020. She was also a former Miss Senior, represented Tafuna High School to the close-up trip in 2019 and JSA to Stanford in summer of 2019. Chairwoman for Close-Up Summit 2019, she loves performing arts and loves enjoying acting. She is 20 years old, currently attending ASCC as a pre-law major. Very interactive, outspoken, enthusiastic, and all for women empowerment. An advocate for the environment. Goal is to become an attorney general in the future, an environmental lawyer. to give back to the community and ensure that justice is equality distributed amongst the people of our community. Everybody give your hands together for Miss Nelly Mercy Lee Sala.
Good morning, everyone. Master of Ceremony. Thank you so much, MC. Hi, everyone. My name is Nelly Lee Sala. I'm very nervous right now, so please bear with me. E mo mua ona o whatalo whaatu il nei taiao, ilo wanganga whaafitai. Whaafitai ona taltonuina o au, o te whaasoa ai i le tupulanga mo a taiao. Thank you to all who have successfully coordinated this event. And thank you for entrusting me the opportunity to speak to the youth. So today's theme is preparations for tomorrow starts today. O le tapena penanga mo a taiao e a mata nei. Because you have a purpose, there must be a preparation. Ona e iai lo mafuaanga malo taunuunga. E te tau ona iai so tapenanga. I would like to share with you all a familiar story we all know. O te whiawhaso atu I se tala masani, se tala tato te iloa mai tuspaia, o le tala lea ia tavita. We all know how the story goes. There was a young man named David, and David was a youth. He was the youngest of his brothers from the household of Jesse, and David was a shepherd. Pe whapewhea ona tātou tāpena pena mo a taiao, pe whapewhea fo'i ona tātou tāpena pena mo le lumanai. First key point in preparation for the future, you have to be a responsible young man. You have to be a responsible young woman. As you prepare for the future to come, first, you need to take responsibility. Be held accountable. E te tau on avea oe mas tangata, e mawhai o na tali tonuina oe, e whai aso se mea ma whaamaoni. O tā vita, o le wii lea lato aina, e tato e lofoi, o tā vita, o se tangata whaamaoni. Whawhea na tato e loe whaamaoni tā vita. O tu a toa ia whaatuatuanga toe ina, ewa aile lafu maa moe, ewa aile pa maa moe. O te leo whaatulai alo ewa aisa o pa maa moe, o na tali tonu ina ile o e whaiese mea. No, but we learn a lesson from the life of David. So se mea lei titia e tu uina atu ia te oe whai, whai amal wha maon. Ia e whai ona ele o wa ai o tangata, a ia whai ona, because you are entrusted to do something. You have to be faithful, youth. If you want your voices to be heard, take responsibility. E le whape te whiu mana oe, e langona mai umai tangata matutua le tala e te whiu mana oe whai. Ai e leo oe tangata e whaamaoni I me iti. E leo oe tangata e ono whaatuatua ai se isi e whaia se mea ma le atuatoa. That's my first key point in preparing for the future. David was a trusted young man at a very young age. He started off as just a shepherd, a leader of the sheep. E ta alo tangata e alo wa ai pa maa moe, e te wa ai mawalalo ai, e se a. E le se mea nās tangata o ofisa e whai, e sao. E le se mea nās se whai a o mai whai. O tangata e alo wa ai lafu maa moe, palpala. E umai alo e fulu me moe maa moe, ave mea ai e maa moe, ma mea umana. But you know, here we can take from the life of David. O le alai titi o lo ngaluenga ngai fai SYEP, pe o ngali fai lau pepa, pe o le fai o le ipuki a lau boss, fa maoni ai, a wai fa mai tala tusi, a e fa maoni me iti, o le an me tupu, e le se lava tu, tala tuspa ia, we got this. Responsibility is accepting that you are the cause. Youth, we are the cause. The issues that are ongoing today, we are the major contributing factor. But guess what? You are also the hope for a solution. My second point today in preparing for the future is parent involvement. Obey your parents, youth. Fa'alongo yo matua. Eile fa'upunga Samoa na usama nei taeo. E fa'apea mai. E fasili muli mai ya mua mai. Self-explanatory. Tātou yele la iti o tātou na muli mai. Au vaenga ia matutua ia na mua mai. E tātou le malama se mea. So whatever we need to understand about the things we are encountering, we can seek the counsel and help of our parents and our beloved adults we are working with. As the story goes on, David went to the battlefield to take his brother's food. But as he got there, everyone ran away to hide because they feared a giant named Goliath. Alualetala wo ol taimileo wo tulie yeselo natali otavita. E alwe ave mea ayo na uso olo yo tawa. Ayo o tutavita. Olo la lafi maitangata Israelu. Aisea wo fefefe ya Goliata. This morning, Goliath represents the issues that we are facing each and every day. The issues of suicide, the issues of the illicit abuse of drugs, the issues of domestic violence. We have to stand up. That is one thing about David. Ele nofo tavita, ele ilafi tavita, o to lo tavita, lo fafta yaim male koliata, male mawatele, man fafita uni, ele ilaku tavita, lafi, ele ilafi, laku tavita. You can solve the issues, okay? These issues are affecting us just as much as they are affecting our older generation. David prepared to fight Goliath. But Saul said to put on his armor. Lewa saula tavita wa sauni tavita fasanga tawatu ya Goliata fasanga tawatu imea olo tsuku mai o fafita uli olo fasanga tuai oia ai saulo le tupu Israelu for my saulo put on my armor avatulo ofu taulea it's off white it's alwai it's alwai. You know, youth, many of the things that we're doing right now is because you are peer pressured. You are capable. You have the potential. You don't need someone else to tell you to solve a problem. You don't need someone else to remind you that you need to start thinking, start leading, be your own leader. Amata tuai, oh yeah, ned someone amata adi youth. Sa olele, sa o. My next point of preparation is being able to say no. Ola talata vitan fayasa lo. Leai. You have the power to say no. Say no to what? Say no to the things that you're not supposed to be affiliated with. Say no to the wrong people, the negative things of your life that you're not supposed to be encountering with. Like what? Say no to drugs. Say no to alcohol. Say no to Satan. Yeah, man. In all seriousness, doing things just because everyone else is doing it. Awete fire, awete la tua fire mea ona la te va ayatu la fire me lo wo. It's la tu la miti me te mai me lo wo e fa pia la o so la kula miki la fo ya la This is 2022. Be the change. Use your voice. Atato tapina pena mo lumanai. Tapina pena falele. And lastly, David went to Goliath. Wasauni tabita e alwatu e fasangta watu ya Goliath. When we are prepared to face the issue, the last point of preparation that you need to understand is that know that God will fight for you. Nalwatu tavita ya Goliata. Ofeatu, etisawiateao. You come to me with your spear and your swords and your weapons, but I come to you in the name of the Lord. Whatever issues that you are going through, know and believe in your heart that God will fight for you. Whatever choices that you are making in life, understand that God is always by your side. We are the future. You are the voice. From youth voice to youth power. Youth, use your voice wisely. Using your voice does not necessarily mean shouting your opinion or what you think, but using your voice means to help encourage others, to walk in faith, and to work hand in hand with those before us for the betterment of our government, our community, our churches, and most especially our families.
Mele toi whama mawha mai e lau patire nā. Ia. Whaftai atu le tua whine tu sai fwoi o le. Saunoanga mātu mō fie. Ia e le ngatai whautuanga o tima inga e e upo e masangi au na whai. Whai mai I say no to drugs. I say yes to. E vai ai, really. Say no to drugs, say yes to Jesus. Ia o le te mine nei, e o le tau tanga I atu runga tātou prokalami. Ia wa mai o na vai loina tātou I vaenga ono. O nei vaenga. Ia e tala noa I nai, ama tā aupu ia e le ngata. O le fuala au whasaina. O le pule leo tangata I le soifua se tulou. Ia. Mo uma wai ona vai ngai se. Ia a nga ia tulupu ia ono. Ia tātou ia vai ngale I le tiwa, tu lai loa ma ave la vai ngai o le me tana ia vai, ma le awa tita vai. Ti te tātou musika wa mori. Piniti tula ibo wa mole. Anga imei tato potula.
You are divided by the color that we assigned to you when you came in for registration. Okay? If you have pink, you have pollution, and that is it. Red, plastics, you guys are in the back here.
Tula imei wa mole ole tato taimi lava wa mole lava.
If you have orange, you have gender equality. You are on this side. You are on this side of the gym. And pink is family issues. If you have family issues and you have pink, you're on this side. You will be in our big conference room. Family issues. Green, if you have green, then you have social media. You are in the front VIP room. If you have blue, then you have drugs. Back room.
Wai akualan fesili e afui. Ai mafaula lo wai fai mai ere mafai e pinganga fai mea kau kamanu. O le nganga lo fai lo kala. Kular mako topic on gender equality for women so matai titles for women. Ya mako wayan mako fasoya. E kakau lava o nga ave pele avangoi kofinge e nga vele asua fa makai inga ia kukusa leva le levo akamaloloa maka maika e nga ave fa makai kaluai kamaloloa e ai lako ia mama ma anga i esi ya me akau kamaloloi ko ko nu fa pe ma inga Pea foi papini, ese lato ia mama anga, ese ia me tonu lato ainga taluai, o lato e au tu, pe ngafai foi mea tau salungo fale, pe nganga tau singo whanau, so aku iai a whamakai whawhinge ese ia ngu o lo whasainga, ke ne lava whasua mar whawhangofia inga, ne arungo kokongo whongango ngu, whapea foi ainga. Thank you, City. So, although Kalina ilo fasili, la wifi may pela via uma isi genders, so gender equality is like our topic, but the main issue na kalmoy mako is matayta los for women. So basically, siya pero fa-fingi pa pingapo, wala makalong mako niya kau.
I feel like we should put abusive people in prison, right? That's the right thing to do, but ele fa pe loka e kangaka le nga alu fasi si kangaka e mafafaulo e ave eselo like wakakalai kuwa ko ele leilol amio. No, I feel like we should open programs for those people who are doing those to others, open programs and educate them to do better. And if you guys ever need help with anything, no matter what the situation is, call DYWA. DYWA is one of our advocates that helped us a lot. Even though it's not specific that they don't help with suicide, these are people that can help you find help. They will respond, they will answer phones, and they will not leave you on hold for too long. So, but still call 988 if you are struggling with suicide. And that is our presentation for today. So, if you guys have any feedback, like if you feel about DOH or other programs, you can tell me. If you do have a good feedback, you can let me know. Like, is there anything? Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think, yeah. So you are right. It does involve culture such as, being tough. If you have problems, you should just toughen up, right? We were all taught as Samoans to toughen up and be strong. But sometimes it's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help. So that is why we're here today, to help you all open up, because you might not feel comfortable with opening up with suicide to hotlines or your families. But we're here to tell you that there is help out there. You just got to reach out. Okay. Did I kind of answer your question?
When you're lifting strong things and then men came up and say you're so weak to women, that's like a big problem here. And we should make American Samoa feel like a safe environment for all of us. And to provide enough protection, inclusion, and security for people and what gender they identify as. So to support our legislative proposal, so in 1972, an amendment was proposed in the United States Constitution called the Equal Rights Amendment. It was issued to guarantee protection against sexual discrimination against law. So in 1972, a Equality Rights Amendment was proposed and it's mainly like the Women's Amendment, so it's mainly about women, but we are talking about changing women's rights to all, including transgenders, and it results in a more agreeable matter for all of us. So this bill will make it illegal for any act of violence towards anyone, man or woman.
Ya mo kabonge pape au meso sai ni dokura mera ko. Ya kuang ya upo. Kalau ready. Oh. Ya awake mafau ke le ngame so sai. Kalau ready. Alu yo ma kuang mo fo kuang. Kan mo yo so so mo po pating ali ai yo o nere mo pe ka posisio ya fi wa kwa ibe ai yo
Thank you for sharing. Epic.
So we're from Epic. My name is Fasili. I am the program manager for Epic, Empowering Pacific Island Communities. I don't know if some of you guys have been in our classes. We teach signs of suicide, and we've been to Tafuna, Whangaitua, Pasao Marius, Leone. I know I'm missing some other schools, but we do our signs of suicide. We do also have a hotline aside from DOH. We do work together. Our hotline is 699-HELP. It's a free line. If you guys call from your phone, we will tell you, we will call you back. You hit on with all the symptoms for suicide. Thank you so much. And we do hear a lot of the issues that you guys are going, and that's why we wanted to come, to find out more issues you guys have. You know, some of the signs to is hopelessness, right? You feel like there's not much for you to look forward to. Right? You know, sometimes too, family issues or cyberbullying, things that happen on social media, relationship problems. These are a lot of things that we hear from kids that'll cause them to think or turn to suicide. Thank you so much too for saying turn to God, right? Prayer is always the answer, but sometimes too in that moment of despair and depression, you feel like no one is there for you, right? That most likely also God has abandoned you, but he hasn't, right? We just need to find that light, and we need to find those people that you can talk to, and I want to let you guys know that Epic and Tyson,
I'm sure everyone
PYC.
look asa mama. I'm sure everyone look you love wakwa. So you know, so I support gender equality not only mo kakukengi but also papafingi. To me, no we akatunga. Ole papafingi. To me only personally. Ole papafingi akaka pikisiri onga kalinia. Mo yala kalinia because abayo po fai nga keo mo papenga. It's always a papafingi abe papafingi fai mo ke. All kasi created, you know, compared to how you come out of lawyers, right? There are jobs that women can't do, or that men can do. But women can do anything a man can do, and she can do it better, you know? So, thank you.
Our culture is listen, right? What I tell you to do, you do, and there's no real communication with how you're feeling and what you're going through. Okay?
Hey, just to add on up, does anybody know or have known somebody who shows signs of suicide? Because most people think, and that's a myth. So most people think that suicide just happens. Somebody just stands there and just commits suicide. But scientifically speaking up, it's all research, and they're always showing small signs of suicide. It's either carrying lethal substances, or a firearm, rope, bags, or anywhere. Isolating himself, that's a big red flag. You see your friend that's always like talking to you, always hanging out with you guys, and out of nowhere, like sitting by himself, or just trying to avoid you, that's one big red flag. So there's multiple different signs.
I want to introduce Representative Andrew Samoa. And because this is about gender equality, can I give her a chance to speak first? And we're also here with Captain Jenny. You say gender, but we all know the issue's women, right? So can we hear from women first, and then I'll
I stand here and with a lot of admiration. So as the only woman in the House side, surrounded by 20 men, I represent those who do not have a voice. And also, I represent men. Kako umalawa, kako whaasingumanga, who we are. And I know we are all created by a higher being. And in our Constitution, all of us are created equal. Kofu lava kako, kako whaasingumanga, malemea nga kako whangawa iayo kako mahua. But equality and justice. Based on your gender, I can honestly tell you in my life, I've gone through a lot of places in the world that I lived in. Koe fo'i maya o i Samoa. E la mona kuia.
Or Malisa.
And everybody.
But then we also open up to other schools. So if you want to join us, we have tutoring for SAT and ASVAB, which all come with no price, all free. It's only a week. Okay. We also provide food. Don't worry about that.
Lunch is provided. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to add, for those of you guys in high school, we have partnered up with DOH. We have telehealth out at all the high schools we already. They just installed Yakina last week. Uligo Tech, Takuna, Whangaikua, Fasao Maris. We're waiting on Samoana, Manmalo, and Manua. All right, but you can talk to your counselors. Your counselors will hook you up with us so we can have our counseling session. It is private. Everything is confidential between you and me or Lavi, all right? I just want you guys to know there are other help, there's help available, right? It's just about you guys, taking the initiative to reach out. Okay?
Thank you so much, Epic. Thank you so much for sharing with us. We will definitely add that on our issue statements and to our research. But I have one more question. Since we're sharing about our issues, is there any issue you would like us to add?
But that's where you hang on to. You know who you are. And that can be your ammunition. And all the values and principles that your parents have took, regardless of your gender. Exercise rights. So some rights are very hard for us to implement. But from my personal experience, you can all be productive citizens of American Samoa, but you just have to pursue your dreams. Don't be fearful of your voice, even if there's consequences. Ella came with all the degrees and knowledge we have, but we become followers of greed and power. But be yourself. Be the true person that you believe in, and all the influence of your parents, your whaiwhiau, and your sisters and brothers, your grandma, your grandpa. Those all can be used to make you strong in your values and principles.
When I read the never done one minute. Oh my God, my grade just went down. The facility. Juvenile Detention Center. Now I know out in the community, I know this for a fact. It's a tangata, that's a Galicia, Matua, Fanau. When they see these kids inside the detention center, they are Tamatini whanau, o uso, o tuangane. When I saw the pamphlet, the May Never Bear Cross Gender, I just had an experience with two of them that came into the center. Because when I saw that word detention center, it's not a jail, it's not bad kids, it's a detention center. No, yeah, temporary. It's a second chance. It's a reform center. You know? And I always tell my kids, I call them my kids, but I always tell them, this is your second chance. We are human, we make mistakes, it's okay. But this is a second chance. Let's start. He had issues in his family because he was gay. And he came into the center. Of course, because of his personality, he looked like Likia. But I sat him down one time. I said to him, son, you might not know this, but this is your second chance. Of course, you committed a crime. You have to serve the time. However, with juveniles, they have certain degrees of reform, certain degrees of laws, policies, and procedures that I, the JDC superintendent, have to follow. We cannot treat them like the regular, TCF people. But because they're still young, there is a second chance. So whoever that is in here, whatever that you go through, just think of this. It's your second chance. What you decide today will determine where you're going to be in the future. Fancy shoes, fancy shades, fancy say. It's in here. Who you are is who you are. Yeah? Don't be so discriminating so fast to judge people. Don't. Because you'll be surprised. Your time will come. And I hope and I pray I don't see none of y'all in there. Because it's not a place for kids. Jello Taimi, if I don't fire for Sanoa. Don't fire for Sanoa. There was a tomboy that was in there. And she was so adamant of fighter. If you have so I can yoma. Like she's trying to prove something. You know? I sat down with her and really dug into her heart. What is the problem? You know, sad to say, I hate to say this. Both parents are in jail. There's 8 kids. But because of domestic violence, because of drugs, because of those issues, the court asked us to check them out. We all have issues. We all have families. We all have situations. I always tell my kids to tap it. To hung up and to tap it. God will show you.
Maybe we should go to step 1. What's wrong with sexism? And the other word you'll hear is misogyny. Have you heard this word before? Misogyny, sexism, And maybe you can understand if you look at racism, right? Because we all understand racism. To be judged by the color of your skin, not by the content of your character, right? Does that sound, do you know who said that? Martin Luther King, right? That his children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Because the color of your skin is something you are born with. You have nothing to do with it, right? You are born, we are all born with brown skin, right? It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong, but you're being judged by it. That's what's wrong with racism. And that's what's wrong with sexism. Because you were born with a certain gender. That's all. Okay? And when it's that way, then like you have all these problems. I'm working on preparing for the Constitutional Convention. Can you hear me? Yeah, I don't want my voice to go out. And one of the steps is to pick delegates. Okay? Longo inga fongo ngu pe fongo le kumalo fili mai la ko sui se lau duas fulma le iva le ofa yo sui su fongo. There's going to be 129 delegates from all the Itumalo of American Samoa and Swains Island. How many women do you think there will be at the Constitutional Convention? Okay? When the Constitutional Convention starts, August 29th, it's going to be on TV, it's going to be live streamed. Check it out. Ask yourself, how many women are going to have the chance to talk about American Samoa's Constitution? Remember, the Constitution belongs to everyone. Have you ever heard of a Constitution that's only for males? It doesn't work that way, right? For males and females, and yet we have a little bit of a problem. And so why is it that way? Some of you are aware of this. Ele pule malo ile tu malo. Ele pule foi malo ingu. E yanga ifanua e tu manga onu. Eu isinu fa sai matai fafine. And you have to ask yourself whether this is right or wrong, okay, in the government that we live in. So you're going to have a convention, we're going to take a guess, we'll be lucky to see a few women. How are women's issues going to emerge in a convention where you have 99% men? Okay? I thought I heard the young lady say that she has a proposal. Is that right? There was a young lady up here. You have a legislative proposal? Did one of you say that? Because that's how you bring about change. You have to introduce laws or constitutional. The Constitution is a law. Okay? It's just like the highest law. And so you have to introduce laws. Safety. We tried to introduce amendment for women. It was very simple, that the American Samoa government shall be committed to women's inclusion, safety, and justice. How many women are in the House of Representatives? You're looking at the one woman in the House of Representatives. She's the only one. What's wrong with that picture? When 50% of the population is female. Okay? That's for you to answer. That's for you to look at that fact and say, well, what does that tell us? Yeah, LGBTQ comes up all the time when we're talking about women's issues. I went to a meeting in Washington, D.C., and I had to ask the lady, what's this? LGBTQ. So what is it? Correct me if I'm wrong or right. L is lesbian, G is gay, B is bisexual, T is transgender, and Q is queer. Okay? Hey, this is your generation. You need to bring it out. Okay? You need to bring it out and think about it and talk about it. So, the LGBTQ community, did they do anything wrong? But they're being discriminated against. Okay? Does this happen in American Samoa? Okay? In my generation, we never talk about these things. Never. In my generation, if you had special needs, we didn't talk about it. Okay? Same thing with LGBTQ. But now is your time to discuss these issues, to consider it as a serious adult. I know it's kind of funny, you know, people laugh, you know, like this. But as a serious adult, you know, what do these issues mean to you? So, for example, same-sex marriage, abortion, going into the military, operation, and adoption. Okay? These are the policy issues that are being fought today when you consider gender inequality. Are you ready for all of that? Are you ready? Let me shift for a moment to religion, because I thought I heard there was a young lady here talking about the church. Was it you? Was it you? And the rights of women. So I'm going to put it to you this way. Can a woman deliver the word of God as well as a man? Isn't that all that matters? Everything else, I'll leave that up to you. Okay? But to me, that's the real question. Can a woman deliver the word of God as well as a man? Okay? I'd like you to consider that question as far as religion. As far as our culture, well, that's gonna take a long time, right? Because every village has their own authority. But I'm looking at all of you. We have future Matai sitting right here, right? And can women become good Matai? You know, in Polynesian societies, think for a second, Polynesian societies, that's who we are. O tangata Polynesia, e tātou, e Hawaii, e Tonga, e To'elau, e Tuvalu, e Maori. Oh, did I miss one? Okay. You know who is responsible for the health of the family in all Polynesian societies? Who is the most responsible person for the health of a family in all Polynesian societies? Who is the most responsible person for the health of your family? Olatina, Olatina. So how can anyone tell you that the woman doesn't understand what's needed? Okay? They have been responsible for 100 years for the health and well-being of families. You gotta give yourself a chance. Toitolus pulu se kone, o se manua, o usu lau pese, if I say stay me, faftai.
The 6 groups that you guys were divided in, I would like to call all the 6 presenters from each group. Yeah, I would like to welcome back everyone. How did you guys feel about the presentations for today? Oh, come on. I can't hear you. How did you feel about the presentations today? Yeah, Temile Famaloa today. Lafu manatu Famaloa to Fortisa India till Toe. You so Hoima to Fafing. Yeah, why don't you guys turn to each other and, Fakalofa, Fayai, Wa Milo Usole nature, yao. How you doing? So each groups that you guys just went to, each groups will have a presenter to come up here and present their presentations that they did today. And they will get a couple of minutes to present their issues. So the first group up here will be the gender equality. Next group up here will be social media. Third group will be teenage suicide. Fourth group is family issues. Fifth group is plastic pollution. And the last group is teenage addiction or drugs. Yeah, and this time I would like to turn over the time to Sopakuka for his presentation of the gender equality.
Greetings and talofa. O Loingoa, O Toetu, Sopakuka, O Gisao Maiden Nuolea, O Ili. O le mako topic lea la mau whamatala ina nei, o le gender equality, but the main issue, matai titles for women. Our issue statement, o lo fasilimo mua, what is gender equality? Gender equality is when people of all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities. Therefore, women of American Samoa should have equal rights and opportunities to hold a matai title as men. Our women and young females have been struggling with the same opportunities as men. Nonetheless, most women are more qualified to hold any chiefly matai titles. Though the world has been male-dominated in the past, in many instances, women have been at par or even ahead of men when the situation is demanded at them. Society is on the verge of a transition, and once again, women are getting the due chance to show their abilities. The people of American Samoa must realize that the raising a culture world family is far more important than earning money. Many great men of the past owed their success to their mothers, so women have a bigger role in building future generations than men. According to the Chiefess Mrs. Tawanu Alama Taifandi, claims there is equality for women in all sectors, government, church, education, business, but not the culture. The ban on women matais is preventing suitable and capable women in whom families have faith from entering the Senate. Some families want to choose their women to lead their families as sao or hen matais, but they are incapable because village and districts forbid women from being matais. Namato talno masitasyo matai fafini, o tawa ni alama taifani. Malamata upo sa mato talano yai, o le avea leo tamaitai mamatai. Ili temi o mato fatanoanga, sa ia ta ua ta tau na faalongoina leo o tamaitai i te tonu o fonu. Ili temi tutu sa ia vanua o alii matamaitai, ili stalai le sofa matai. I te tonu lavo le tato watunu, e tutu sa le aia ta tau watangatai mea uma. Ai se a e leo le anganu lava ia. A wā o nisi lava nu, e whasaina tamaitai, e avea mamatai, o nau whai ngā whaavai o tutono nu. Le te leo a inga le levai tau, e tau le aini tamatani, ai tele i teini. O le alala leo le whataua o nā vea tamaitai mamatai o nu. Ina e iai sui mai a inga taitasi tutono fontanga nu. E a fia i foi le whai ngā mā lo whatemo kalasi. Ma whai mai e te tau o na langona le leo o tangata uma lava a wā e tā ua. O manatu mawhawhau o tangata taitasi uma lava, e ma tā upolo tu ina atu, i lumo le whonu. E lato ngā luloi whaatasi e whawho ai, e whawhita au, tai malawa noa.
Greetings and talofa. My name is Dino Fatu, and I'm from DYWA. Our legislative proposal for Matai titles. Our first one, the government should enforce legal applications to any village council for rejecting women to hold chiefly titles. They shall not be biased and should remain neutral. Our second one, legislators must review the existing legislations that effectively states the Matai titles and should honor suitable and capable women to be included in the upcoming bill or law of the government to have equal opportunities and rights pertaining Matai title. Our third proposal, the government should provide funds for non-government organizations, villages, and chiefs of each village to come together as one to support women's voices in holding a chief title without complications. The fourth proposal, the government should provide funds to build a women's Matai office to empower more women in holding a chiefly title. Our supporting argument, while many villages here in American Samoa are opposing women holding the chiefly title, most men are allowing their spouses to hold a Matai title due to various reasons. First, is either the male member of the family is ill, or secondly, they show no interest in becoming a Matai. But lastly, is most males are non-residents and have no rights holding a chiefly title. The legislative proposal will be the best way to address the issue of gender equality regarding women holding the Matai title. Society should realize that women can have as many responsibilities and can still complete any task within the village family when given the opportunity to become the chief. If the Matai of the Ainga is a female, she will be the head decision maker of the family. Moreover, the public influence of women is becoming more apparent, or more women are becoming a part of the workforce. When the government get involved in village or territorial decision making regarding the Matai title, there is a possibility that members of any families will be aggressive, thoughtful, and will always actually use physical evidence if this was to be approved. But with the funds that were provided by the government, the women will empower other women to become Matais. Thank you.
Next up, our group is social media.
Greetings and Talofalava. My name is Darlene Sarah, and I will be presenting on cyberbullying. Social media is our main issue, but cyberbullying is the issue that's within social media. Since we all know what social media is, and we all know what cyberbullying is, because it's a main issue right now with us, the youth, I will get straight to point. A 15-year-old female in American Samoa began skipping school on October 4, 2021, had suicidal thoughts as a result of her private recordings, being exposed to the entire school. Imagine that for yourself. Shared by her own friends whom she trusted, her mutual friends on Facebook, her family members, her church members, they all contributed in exposing her. This has caused a huge impact on her. She went through a deep depression. She was in a deep state of depression due to her videos being exposed. This issue has been a big issue to us, especially the youth. Therefore, we are here to make sure that this issue will be worked on and that it will be prevented. Did you know that we do not have a law against cyberbullying? Yes, that's right, we don't have a law against cyberbullying. Therefore, we urge the American Samoa legislator to establish or propose a law to prevent cyberbullying and to protect our citizens from this issue. My colleagues and I have all decided into proposing this following law. Anyone engaging in cyberbullying is forbidden from using any social platforms for 5 years while taking counseling classes, and whoever violates the rules will spend those 5 years in prison. Yes, that's right. My colleagues and I, additionally, we would like to call upon the Department of Human and Social Services, as well as the Department of Youth and Women's Affairs, to have outreaches to schools regarding this topic, cyberbullying. We want this topic to be discussed, and for each and every one of us on this island to be aware that this problem has been an issue, and it always has been to us, the youth. Well, for my supporting argument, I'm sure that we all know what cyberbullying has been leading to. Cyberbullying has led the youth to severe consequences, as well as depression, suicidal thoughts, psychological problems, and anxiety. It is an issue barely recognized by our people. And how do we know that? We don't even have a law against cyberbullying. American Samoa and our government doesn't have any law defending us from cyberbullying. We are unable to eliminate cyberbullying since there aren't enough organizations or groups that can support victims of cyberbullying, much alone a task force to which we feel confident reporting media issues to, and that will take the necessary action for victims and those who are perpetrating cyberbullying. Therefore, we have to put a stop and prevent cyberbullying. And having each and every one of here with us, it's a great honor to have you guys hear us as we discuss the issues that we have. Thank you.
All right, and our next group is Teenage Suicide. Representative for Teenage Suicide.
Talofa everyone. My name is Sally Wells, and I am here to present on the topic of teen suicide in American Samoa. I did not do this project alone. My group are, first, my name is Sally, which I mentioned, Lama, Watson, Tangi Lima, Mike, and Watsi. Our issue statement is, in 2020, a teen who attempted suicide was successful and was taken down from a tree. This was very devastating news to the family, but to protect the victims and family's identity, name, gender, and age were concealed. We all know that suicide affects all ages, but due to research here in American Samoa, it majors in 15 to 49. Ages from 15 to 49 have a higher rate of suicide than ages 50 to 69, meaning that most people or American Samoa citizens here who commit suicide are teenagers. Problems at home heavily affects my mental state as an SYAP employee, and suicide is caused by family and personal issues. And how do I know that? Some of my coworkers can relate to me because we all have issues at home that affects our mental state. Not just me, but many others. So suicide affects a higher rate of ages 15 to 49 than ages 50 to 69, due to the fact that suicide increased in 2016 by 7.46%. My message to those who are struggling with suicide is that suicide will not end your pain, but it will transfer it to your loved ones. So if you have issues and if you have unstable thoughts such as ending your life, think about those that love you. Do not think about the people that hate you, because I know that everyone who is struggling with suicide, they think about, oh, let me just end it, you know, because those people who hate me will be happy. I want them to be happy. What about those that love you? Think about those that love you, your family. They will miss you. They will mourn you. They will be in pain every day from what you have done. So remember, suicide will not end your pain. It will only transfer it to your loved ones. My proposal is that these organizations such as
suicide prevention hotline, domestic violence hotline, American Samoa Legal Aid and Protection and Advocacy should answer their phones. Me and my group have made phone calls every day between 3 hours that we work. We have called the suicide hotline. They did answer, but the only issue that we have with them is that they did not respond very well. They did not communicate with us. They did not create a comfortable environment for those who are in need of help to open up. For an example, well, this actually happened. Me and my group members, we called the suicide hotline, and a woman dispatcher answered the phone. And she was like, hello? We didn't think anything of it. So we continued to talk to her, needing help for our presentation. But remember, this is suicide hotline. No matter the topic, no matter what you are talking about, they are suicide hotline. They do not end the phone call. You do. They wait until you are done talking. You are done discussing what you needed to discuss. Because if I was talking about suicide, would they end their phone call? No. They shouldn't do that. So we talked to this woman nicely, and she was very agitated and easily mad because we were asking her to join us today. But she said, okay, call us back from her to give us more information. And then she hung up. So I was like, okay, is that how you talk to those who need help? Even if I'm not talking about suicide, you should talk to us and create a comfortable environment for us to talk to you. And another thing is that we called DOH, but they responded very kindly, but the only issue that we have with them is that they did not call us back. They said they were busy. We called between every 3 hours that we work. They said that they were busy. We understand, but if you say you will call us back, you should call us back. Because we called them and they didn't answer because they were busy. In addition to our proposal is that these people who are rude dispatchers need to be fired. Just not only fired, but give them a chance. Train them better, right? Train them better to be kind to people that need help. I was just kidding about the fired part. If they don't want to change their ways, then I think it's best to let them go in another stage of work that they need work on. So the only advocacy that did not fail us is DYWA. I know, typical, right? Just because we work here, you might think, hey, tell people that DYWA this, DYWA that. No. Our group went home, we made a plan, communicated on our group chats, and we called DYWA. They didn't know who we were. They didn't know we worked here. We called DYWA. They answered, they responded nicely, and they helped us. Okay, I'll be really fast with my last proposals and arguments. So American Samoa needs better suicide hotlines. I explained why. Fire those who create an uncomfortable environment. Thank you.
Thank you to the teenage suicide presenter. Our next presenters up on group 4 is family issues.
Greetings in Talofa. My name is Ventini of Habao and I come from the village of Pango Pango. And this is my partner, Keolani Fa'alili. And our issue statement is, domestic violence is one of the rising offenses in the territory, or in other words, it is one of the major issues here in American Samoa, where we see and hear domestic violence everywhere on island, on the bus, in the store, and so on. Therefore, when domestic violence happens, the witness or those who see domestic violence happens turns to ignore the situation and turn a blind eye and not report it. For example,
if we see the couples arguing and it involves yelling and punching, we would just look at them and look away right away because we assume that it's none of our business. We have 7 legislative proposals. Our first legislative proposal is legislators must review the law that effectively tackles domestic violence. Second is collecting data regarding domestic violence can make a huge difference. Third, funding is a compulsory to establish a dedicated domestic violence unit. Government and non-government organizations should work together to provide training and public platforms to support victims' voices. The territorial government must work closely with the village and traditional government to embrace the Samoa and village whānau in developing violence policies. The domestic violence unit should always be in liaison with DPS, the court, and service providers to respond to domestic violence. And lastly is to hire professional translators for families who do not understand English to avoid biased interpretation.
And our supporting argument is, my fellow peers and I strongly believe that our legislative proposal or the proposed legislation will be the best way to address the issue and provide assistance for the victims of domestic violence, will somehow help them build them back up financially, mentally, and physically. Thank you.
Group 5, we have pollution, plastic pollution. May we have a presenter up here?
Aloha, good morning everyone. How's everyone doing? Come on, Sunday, yeah, wake up everyone. How's everyone doing? Can I get an amen in the building? Aloha, my name is Greg Mailo, and I'm here to represent the issue that we undergo here in American Samoa, and that's plastic pollution. I'm here to tell you that this issue is known, along with every of the other 5 issues that we have already represented. But the problem is, a lot of us choose to ignore it. No, I don't know whatever reason why, but I can tell you the reason might not be good. So I tell you this, I don't want to repeat myself, okay, but like, American Samoa has gone through some hard times involving the polluting of plastic waste on our island. We choose to ignore this for many reasons, and many of them are not good. So instead of aiming to clean the island, we should focus more on preventing pollution from happening in the first place, because cleaning isn't the solution to our pollution. So I say we either have a ban or at least just have a strict use on plastic. We don't aim to get rid of plastics fully. What we aim is to reduce the usage of plastics. We don't want to get rid of it. This is the most useful material that we have used on island. And because of it, if we choose to discard it and waste it like it's nothing, soon enough we might not even have plastic at the end. So because of it, we don't aim to rid ourselves from this. We should also shine a bit more light on other solutions to this problem. We do end up using plastic, so let's not discard it and reuse it. We recycle that plastic, give it to a proper organization that could use it to actually, probably make something useful out of it in the future. Don't get rid of it and like throw it away in water or on the land. Because if you did not know, plastic takes almost 1,000 years for it to decompose and die away. So if you throw away that plastic will still be there long gone after you're gone from this world. So because of it, maybe we should also aim to also participate and clean our island. Because I know we can't stop using plastics. So instead of stop using it, maybe we can at least clean after ourselves. We don't have to just throw it away like it's nothing. We've used it for so long. So I aim to better clean our island, because it can kill the animals and ruin our crops. So I say to you, American Samoa government, what would you think of that situation? God bless and thank you, American Samoa.
Thank you to the plastic pollution presenter. And for our last group, we have teenage addiction or drugs.
Hello everyone, my name is Maven and I will be presenting for drug abuse. Well, as we all know, drug is Thank you. As we all know, drugs is a very common issue, not only here on island, but around the world as well. it alters your mind, and it affects the future the youth make. According to DHSS and LBJ, drugs is a common coping mechanism for those who are suffering from mental illnesses. Okay. Sorry, I'm very nervous. We do have a lot of programs here to help those of us who are suffering from mental illnesses and drug abuse. However, there's always room for improvement. So as my legislative proposal, I would like for the government to set advertisements for these programs and for Dr. Shishram, our only psychologist here on island. Because from my personal experience, I wasn't aware of these programs to help us, and I'm sure a lot of us as well are not aware of these programs to help not only you, but your family members, your friends, and all that. I would also like to propose to have more people come in and help us, because there's only a handful of counselors and therapists here. There's only one therapist here, and we only have a handful of professional counselors. So, and there's like thousands of us, right? They could only do so much to help this island. So the more people, to work with us, the more people could get help. I would also like to propose a better education amongst the matter, because curiosity is also one of the major factors on why drug abuse is so common. We don't know, a lot of teens here don't know the consequences of drugs. We don't know the physical consequences and the mental consequences of this, and all that. Of course, we do have occasional people come into the schools and explain to us what drugs are, but they don't usually go into depth on what it does to us and how it affects us. And so for my supporting arguments is that it not only affects those who are involved with it, but those who are surrounded by it. There are a lot of cases of disturbance of peace, assault, theft, child endangerment, and many more crimes that are associated with these drugs, despite not being associated with ourselves. So if we continue to talk about this issue and to improve our island for the sake of our youth, then for sure in the future we'll be able to have this island a better place. Thank you.
Vai atua fimo moe tātou wari tupulanga talabu. Sawa. Yeah. Vai atula tātou icebreaker. Lei, ele ice venga ini. Yogo icebreaker piskalonga venga ini. Yeah, can you guys stand up, please? Stand up. All the youths, please. Stand up. Yeah. Shake your hands, lulula ulu, stretch it out, lulu fafo ye le stress alo mafau fau. Lulu mai fafo le ki ngā lo fai ai. So right now, I'm gonna say youth, you guys say matters. I say youth, you say matters. So let's test it out. Youth, youth, youth. DJ, drop the beat for this. Soundy, back to the music. Hey, vaya, hey. Oh man, youth better. whaftai lava. O se la MC. Au goi whaing be whapea.
Ia, sei tuwa tasi au tatu au. Moli la ngā whaktai na yalo mo whanau ia nana. Ia la kou. Fola ina na manatu e kusai whai o mataapu ia hono. Ia e manatu le nā mo mai au na. Fola si atu manatu le whanau. Ia I mea e au na whale leia mo mea whai e mo mia na whaatino le whainga malo. Ia o le temine nei. Ia whanga solo tatu po kalami. Ia o lea la tatu wanga ia tu le mea tau listener. O ia sila fia ina lemi. Listener. Do you know that? Vaya lili. Ia tatu listener mu mua ia Honorable Representative Samuel Malaysia, te ia ngai me ngai fa mormore malaya watawai tu va taso tatu wa
After yet to never know. We say pachi li mo tato alu pa na le tayao. Chero ona e se taya o se le taya mai fai lo leo fai masui o ila tau mal malo fai tato fatas e mo le tu le ngang fa tai ono le ya no fai tato fi fa so ai ai au chero ona se stemi su atu le fio mal su malo fo mal su o le su malo le fio ngai mai ya e fai atu se la u fa so ai we ngai tau pu ya pe forsia o mata pu ya le Department of Health. Ya, o te langona sau stemi tula ya tule sui manu ya Samoa. Ya, o lana komiti e whitai tunga i mta upu na le health. O mta upu tau le whamalos tula fono. Sau stemi tula ya tule whionga sui manu ya Mayava. Ya, o lana komiti ya whitai tunga i mta upu whapena. Al tai au nei. Na o na iau manatu, poni na iau motu na awha I minute e lua. O te whaftai atu I whanau o na o leo mwhain whasoa mai o tau I mea mo mio na whaadeleia. O leo ngāna o toi nā forum whapenei. Wā fwoi e le mwhai ai mātou na lausi da fia pei loa uma mea o lo te tupu I tua. Pei lau le mele na sau noa te tasi o tō whine le DYWA hotline mo le suicide. Whaftai. We thank you. We wouldn't have known. And so because of this forum, and because of the feedback that you've provided, leaders such as myself will look into that more thoroughly. So we appreciate you and thank you for this opportunity. I, for one, was in the suicide group, and I thought we had such a great and wonderful opportunity to talk with a lot of young people. Suicide seems to be on the mend at the moment. But for me personally, I've known a lot of friends and I've known a lot of my constituents who continue to call in and continue to look to the government, to the nonprofit organizations for help with this issue. And so I appreciate that our young people are taking the lead in talking about this issue. And so I was very, very fortunate to be there alongside all of you, young men and young women, to hear some of the issues that we continue to face. And I appreciate our partners from EPIC who were there as well to kind of walk us through the services they provide to our young people. And so not only is this a rare opportunity for the government to hear feedback from our young people, it is also an opportunity for our government and our nonprofit organizations to let us know and let you know, our young people, some of the services that are out there that are available to you 24/7. And so I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity, and I will only take a few seconds to just say that I support a cyberbullying law.
I think this is something we can work with my colleagues in the House and Senate. There was talk about the environment, and I know that the Environmental Protection Agency had legislation for a styrofoam ban. Now, this is something that this current administration has been pushing both houses of the funnel, and I think it's worth us and my colleagues following up on EPA on that particular issue. And then professional mental health individuals for American Samoa, such a huge need for that area. And so I know that there are different departments and agencies that are trying to see if we can find local people in the areas of mental health and trying to woo them to come work here in American Samoa. And I know it's such a huge field, and there's such a huge need for Samoan professionals in the areas of mental health. So that's just for me, in a nutshell, how I feel, what I've been writing down ever since I got here. And I look forward to hearing from all of my colleagues from the various organizations in government and nonprofit about what they heard from you today and what we will do based on the feedback you've given us. Thank you.
Joy from Mafamelo Patspati, ia whaftai lava le sunga foi le sui vai pule, ia tusai foi marsau nanga matango fie, ia lana sunga ia Samuel Malaysia, ia tatou lisnelo na lua, ia lana sunga le ia Miss Valelia Vauri. Valelia Vauri. No wala ko sina sa tuni wa ko sung sang wang mo follow love
Faftaila ya tao manuia it's you like foi maleava talton foi o vela foi fala So I want to start today by saying every discussion begins with a question. O tala noanga umalava e amata mai se fesili. When we ask the right questions, we categorize different factors contributing to the issue at hand. All social issues that we discuss today have different questions. However, it's susa umalato amatanga. Momua, what? What is the problem? What is the issue? Who is responsible for making changes within these issues? Who are involved? Third question is one of the most important one. Why? I say, So I was with the drug substance abuse group, and we asked the question, why? Why does the youth do drugs? So the kids were calling out different contributing factors. Some were saying mental health. Others were saying to look cool, or what are some of the reasons that we call out group from the morning? To be happy, satisfaction, and surprisingly, curiosity. And we voted. We voted on those contributing factors. And we come up with 22 out of maybe 50 to 60 students who are in substance abuse. 22 students voted that the reason why youth do drugs is because of curiosity. And that's how we solve these issues. We ask questions, we categorize, we survey, we collect information, and then comes the other last question, how? How can we solve it? What can we do about it? Now, they were very avid about speaking up. And then one last reminder before I sit down, I want to remind our youth, we are the government. There's no, this is us and that's you. No, we are the government. A small pebble, no matter how small, can cause ripples. Waves. That's you. You have as much influence as anyone else, as any leader in this government. Whataila Diwa, thank you. Dr. Salo Tifanene, thank you for starting this conversation. Keep on asking questions. Whataila.
Yeah. There was a o lisipito tato por kalam. Ole cultural introduction. Lewa lata leona si ui tato por kalam ni tae. Ole o tape na ina le SYP le DYWA. Se fa fianga mo o tau youth le o poto mai ni tae. Mo o tau fa pe foi o tau le mamalu le kapineta o tato fa tasi mai ai. Ya masi le Miss American Samoa, ya Miss Foi Maono. Ya ole me mo le a mo luna le cultural presentation al fa na le niteo. Ole la unga le wata pena ina ele sunga le ya Randy Misiluti. Alo yo fiber. Olo wava lea.
O lewa na whata pena le matanga ruenga nei. Tūlanga I mea tawanga nuu. Mai lawa le ua iaso le kokalameni. Sa na whata pena I alo mo whanau. O sulotonga. O launga. O le whola ina o tau mafa. Ia ma mea o mai tau le leiai oe ma. Le anga le tanga nuu o le tai oe mata le tate. Ia, na wone I whale tonu. Ia ola la lo tūlai. Ia langa nei wai taimi e. O ma malu langa nuku e tū mau pia. Ai fesu ia I anu na whaatinonga. Ia ore mea le, wole ngatai na tāpena alii. Tāpena voi tamai tai I le whainga o le siwaenga leo langa nuku o le sulotonga. Ia, o lea la tāpena atu la tasi voi usu. E mo whai ona tau wha uso to e tau wha tua fini. Ia, I le whatinonga foi o le sulotonga, nei whate ia mai o tau. O le ale mafuaanga ua sawa I le atangata, whai le tūranga e whai e tamai ta. Ia, o la wia iailo na tō mai mea tau sulotonga. Ia, o le au tū tonu ale o le upu le a whapāranga. Gender equality. Gender equality. Ai usilo mai moa. Ma le whalo lava whaftai.
wakalia le pa upungakangi. Eo I rawa se ko whāra loko, au se whau kanga mau. I le whakanga uinga le ngai wha moi moi. Pea le on kasi ma ki ngalo si esi. Ore ngei wha moe moe. Sa whau wau whau pou. Le ngei ua kingi pao. Ua kau whai ai e ka parenga. Ore ang kongu. Ore ngei wha moe moe. Ore wha ka ua inga leo ngana. Ore nganu Samoa. Ore ngei vai kaiti. Ka wau inga mau aku le ngangu e mese ni ngana fa Samoa ua kele ku maanga mai faku ua kele ku maanga faanga pongi e wale ai e se anga i whamua ua ka wau inga le ai se whalo alu le ai se ama o upu ia i mua i te sufi ai le kakunganganga e mese ni ngu fa Samoa Ebi ia le lofa mananga lei o le kua. Waka ko mawai ngei mafukanga. Se mafukanga fia fia. Se mafukanga mako fia. E mongi ere upu. Se mea i ngā lei o uso e ngofu whelwhangi. Aku ama le fua maka apere fila li. O mangunga o mangungeri. Ia whangia kere i kako uma le alofa le kua. E ala pea le kāma lupelele. Soi fua ma ia manguia.
Give it up, people, for the duo from Pango Pango.
Blessed be our new founding fathers and America, a nation reborn. May God be with you all.
Hi, Mom. I want to go to Mama Yakia. Eh? Let me go to Well, Mom, I brought my friend with me here to Samoa. Well, she's got a lot of genders, yeah? A little Samoa. Or Samoa. Go find no color. Son, o fake Sawai. Samoa. Muayaina mua. Malie. Zangipa. Malie. Zangipa. Malie. Zangipa. Malie. Zangipa. Sound the drums, the box, and hit them very loud. Come down and see what Samoa, watch them sway about. Then Mr. Fa'atabazi with Tama Samoa. So come on, get ready to see what do you want some more. Oh, Manuel, Masiva, Fa'atapati, my Pisa, Polo, Tinolafan, Ula, Falalu, my Tauliba. Oh, Manuel, Masiva, Fa'atapati, my Pisa, Polo, Tinolafan, Ula, who was Samoa. say you are, you come provide but to say and if you want it up and on, manu from a kuma, come on you wanna show your leg, you the mass back on if I can give out, I on a pepe, so more than a person, see the Maya, tell the Maya, Siva Maya, Siva Samoa Gaya, Siva Maya, tell the Maya, Siva Maya, Siva Samoa Gaya.
Yeah, my Lord, love the fear. Everybody give it up for one more time for DYWA from Pango Pango. Our second performance for this afternoon is the DYWA from Tafuna. Everybody give it up, the DYWA from Tafuna.
Yes. Yen mana tu leo tato wo marsi ui. O upu e masangi o ngā whai le seunga. A mai o na tala mea le seunga. O na whapea le upu. Ua sili ofe le seunga. Ina ua mai a le aso wai. A se o lele a ua kui kalaloa le lupe sa whaolo. A o le lupe le whamai e whaololo ngā kā. O lele wela ua kuka I kanga le sā o le ainga sa kū mafongo. E mafua isia. Le anga o le aso ngei ua mawarungu. Ngā mga kula ia o le au le asa inga le filifili wau sā mau apasia inga le lilisfo ko si bio. Le ngā iei la ngonga se kemi o sola. Le ngā whekalai e se kasi o alo ma whangau. Ia e pae la ngau le kā kou kai au. Ia ua mai a ko ila ngā papai ki au le kau ki anga iei la ngonga. E leo se makunga luenga whainga. Na le kū ale koko o whare polo ko whinga. Ia o le la ko makawha i o e kausi le aso ma le aso. E kau lawa inga o whapea kulou ngoi. Inga ia e kū pesiri ange e kū pesiri ifo po le ase ala o le kūlai. Kūlai ia e whainau leo e whai mafonga ka mori. Lea fio la ngā fionga whatonu. Dr. Salote whanini. Aia le la sa se lua ma le sunga le sifa kong. Se kau mo moli aso ma ko nganga whafkai whale wa. O le aso ngei o ke manga kuai le kala le kengi ngā whai rongo ka maa. Ngā whai rongo ka maa o le aise ka warungo o le ka whali. O ngā whai maila le ko inga sau e arwe moi. A maramangia kai au ka whaka. Ao ai aka ngai kauwaru ngai le ka whali. Mo mākou kāri kongu. Se oro ko wāwhisi o mai. Se o lele au kauwaru ngai le whale. O lewanga ngofo kukulu le whangau lea. Sa kau maki ai le eke ai longa ko ke awhisi o mai. A se o mawarunga ro mākou kāwhi. Se lilo I mangaku ai longa ko ki wha au mai. O le nganga leo le whafkai. Wā kou sanguanga. O ko ki mainga, o ko whaukuanga, whawhikai. E eile la ngonga e leo se manguia I ngā. O ngei sanguanga e tele wa o ko sau ngoa iai. E eile mako mangaku langa e whengakaro ko mangaku le whangau lea. Whawhikai le whamaa au mai. E eile la ngonga e kofur ka ngaka maranga ngaluenga maranga whaibaro whilima e kausi le aso mle aso. Awo ko o mai ara ngolo ko mangaku I le whakala urako la ngā whionga whatun. E le manguia se makokala e whai. Paulo makokala sifua e mangu o le rangi. Ia umile soifua kurui. A ware ka kua inga le whainga malo. Whawhekai le sunga le whaipule. O sui whaipule. O whaururunga o whaatonu o mtanga ruenga te tasi. Whawhekai lo ko wafio mai. Alu so mako whawhekai. Mako ki whawhekai are. Ia a kongo ere ai se Samoa e la ulaku. Miss American Samoa. O lau fia mai o mauaru ngai le nge yasu. E le ngaka I ngā. Ia o sui whaipule hoi mo whai ang kako fia. O le upu o le whale le ngā lupe a maria koa ma la whaiari. Ngā whale le lupe a maria koa e mai e ngaonga lele ngaonga apaka e le aru mamau. O ngā whale le o lupe a la whaiari I. A se ngā lele ngā iwa ngā lele mamau. O mako ka awhi le whioko la ngā whionga le whatonu ai mese le sui whatonu. O la ko sanguanga o lele mali ale lupe o mongele upu o pa mai papa o le lupe la whaiari. O ngā mako whapea rea. Whamanguia rea kua I la apu ngaruenga. Le ise kau ia ki mako. Alu lea so mako kala whalua so mako whawkai. Ia. Pea o e whai mafonga ka mori o alo ma whanau. O lo ma whai o na ngā lulua I tonu re dei ma tanga ruenga. Whawhitai ei na nā whionga re wha. Na nā whionga re wha tonu. Ona fo I o le ae o se to wha ma re whaukanga. Ia leo ma whai ei o ngā ngau sia e alo ma whangau le ngei wha moi moi. E ei le karikongunga o se mea mumua re ngei. A se ale le whai e kua au whake ia. Ia o ngā mangaku la ia keri o mako kala e le lau kala. Whawhikai mo ngei aso o mawarunga o ngoro ko wafio mai. Aru lea so mako kala ku wa mo fua mo ka ape fideri. E manga ia le mawaenga re kui mangua nga whapea whai. Wa ure a walu. A koukanga ia ku ile kulangi lea o ka kia me eisi asu a wholau. O loi makare ngā ore fia. A ore mawaenga le mang Samoa le ko fingi. O mangu ka ke mawai ai, o mangu ka ke ai. O mangu fo I ka kwhero I ai, mangu ia le so. Ia. Lenga kākou a maka I le li. Kākou ke koe whai upo I le li I langa o maanga ia le so. O leo te wala au tuai le to fine I anoira. Ia se whai uina tātou si tau sanga. Mare whalo lawa whaftai.
Malawa tula whaloalo, se tatu tutu lai whaitasi, o lima, ma bese whaitasi. O le vinga fo I lau fio, o walo walo fa malawanga le te mau, o mwhai ana whai ui nai di wha moi moi o lau whanau. Fo I bea le vinga lau fio e tu maul whatau wa ai o mātou tangata, sao ni lau whanau e ta apele ni tu la te mau, tātou ma lau fio, I e lunga ia te I mātou whamanianga ma le alofa tunoa lau fio, ni se o le whaavau, whaawalau. Amen.
Just. Let's go, it's baby.